Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about data because I know that sometimes we want to use our sites for data. And, you know, our sites in Isleta, they're protected by a wall, which means nobody on the outside has the option to see our sites. It's only internal. So it has to be a YISD account that actually can access our sites. But that doesn't mean that we are allowed to put student data within our Google site. Yeah, we don't want to put student numbers along with student names because then that can identify them. If you're putting data on there that maybe only I know how to identify myself, only my friend knows how to, I don't know that that's my friend's data, that will be okay, but just be careful. You don't want to do IDs along with student names, those things that are going to identify the student where somebody can go, oh yeah, that's Johnny, I know that. You don't want to do that. Again, we're trying to keep our students' data kind of safe, okay? But what's really cool about putting data or specific types of data in a spreadsheet or in a Google site is that if I make changes to the spreadsheet, it's going to make changes on my site. It's like liquid. It just works really, really well. And that works for charts down here, okay? So if I'm making a Google sheet, and I have a sheet here somewhere. Let me find one. All right, so I have the spreadsheet here that I just opened up. And now what I'm going to do is I want to look at the data, okay? Maybe I don't need any names attached. So to make that chart, I click in here and I'm going to drag this I'm going to drag this all the way down like that. So I have the score and then I have all the scores that are in there. Okay. Now that I have the scores, I'm going to go up to the little insert chart. All right. And it's making me a chart. Now, pie chart's kind of hard to see. So I want a bar chart. Make it a little bit bigger. And there we go. So now I've got my bar chart. Now I'm ready to go. So now I'm going to go back into my site here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on charts because I want to insert a chart. And it's going to say, okay, you just were working on this one right here. This is the one you were working on today. So I have my box. So I click it and I'm going to insert it. It says, is this the chart you want to insert? I say, yes, add it. So it added my chart. Now here's the best part about adding a chart to a Google site. So let's say I go back into my spreadsheet. If I go back into my spreadsheet and I make changes into that spreadsheet, I change some of the scores in there, they will be automatically changed in my Google site. I don't have to publish again. I don't have to change anything. It does it for me automatically. So everything is connected. It's so awesome that way. So if you do want to add charts, maybe you want to add an attendance chart. Maybe you want to add a data chart on how the reading levels are changing in your classroom. Okay, or how the concepts are being learned in science or social studies. As those data pieces change, they will change in your Google site automatically. So you don't have to go back and make those changes. You can change the other things that you need to change, but you won't have to change those. That's how adding a chart in Google Sites is really, really awesome. Something that you should try. Okay. What about adding a calendar? We just added a chart. What about adding a calendar? So I'm going to add a calendar. So I'm under Insert, and I click on Calendar. And what it's going to do, it's going to pull up all of the calendars that are associated with your Google YISD account. Now, let me tell you something about that. If you've got a lot of Google Classrooms, you have a lot of calendars. So you might have to I've got tons and tons and tons of calendars in here because these are all calendars that I've had from my previous Google Classrooms. Maybe some of these classrooms are archived. I'm looking at these, I'm like, wow, there are a lot. here we go. So I'm going to put this one in here. This is for ITS 2021. And it's going to show the assignments. I'm going to stretch it out a little bit. Okay. So this is showing that all of these things are due on August the 10th. Okay. That's when everything is going to be due. All right. So now if I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Now I can see my calendar. Now it's showing today, but I can actually show the entire month. Okay, if I click inside the calendar now, I'm in the preview mode, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But if I'm looking at this web page, once it's published, I'll be able to check the week, I'll be able to check the month, or check the agenda. And the agenda is going to tell me what to do in that Google Classroom calendar. So this is kind of a nice feature. You can embed a calendar straight into your Google site. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.